Neighbor built a yard on my land for 20 years. I sued for trespass and won back the title. I bought a pristine half-acre lot in a desirable neighborhood, planning to build my dream home. Before I broke ground, I commissioned a professional land survey. The surveyor discovered something shocking. My neighbor, Ken, had gradually moved his fence 20 feet onto my property over the last 2 decades, incorporating my land into his expansive backyard. He had maintained it, put up a shed, and now he was trying to claim legal ownership of my property through a sneaky law called adverse possession. He thought he was entitled to steal my land, but I sued him for trespass and quiet title and won the land back, plus punitive damages. My property line was clearly defined in the county records, but Ken's fence was way off. When I confronted him, he just smiled and handed me papers from his lawyer. Ken claimed that because he had continuously and openly occupied that strip of land for 21 years, 1 year over the state's 20-year requirement for adverse possession, the land was legally his. He argued that since I hadn't challenged the boundary during that time, I had legally forfeited the land. This is the central issue of adverse possession. If someone uses your land for the statutory period and you don't object, the law rewards their use and punishes your negligence. Ken's case relied on proving 5 key elements. His possession was 1. Hostile and actual, 2. Open and notorious, 3. Exclusive, and 5. Continuous for 20 years. I immediately hired a real estate litigation attorney. My lawyer explained that while Ken met the time requirement, we could defeat his claim by proving his possession was not hostile and adverse, meaning he didn't know he was claiming the land illegally or that his initial encroachment was based on fraud. We filed a lawsuit immediately, demanding a court order to quiet title, a legal action that forces the court to declare the true owner of the disputed land. We also sued Ken for trespass damages. The key to our victory was proving Ken's original intent. We subpoenaed all the original closing documents from when Ken bought his house 21 years ago. The discovery was devastating for Ken. We found the original survey. The survey Ken received when he purchased his house 21 years ago clearly marked the correct property line. He knew exactly where the boundary was. The contractor's invoice. We found an invoice from a fence contractor dated 21 years ago where Ken paid the contractor extra to set the new fence 20 feet beyond the marker. This proved the encroachment was not an accident based on a faulty survey, but a deliberate, hostile act of fraud. My lawyer presented this to the judge. Since Ken had deliberately moved the fence knowing he was stealing the land, his possession was not the type of good faith mistake that adverse possession is designed to protect. Instead, his action amounted to a long-running, intentional trespass. The court ruled entirely in my favor. The judge rejected the adverse possession claim, declared me the rightful owner of the entire lot, and issued an order forcing Ken to remove his shed and fence within 30 days. But the final victory was the financial penalty. Because Ken had acted with fraudulent intent and malice, the court awarded me the full cost of my legal fees, the land survey costs, and $150,000 in punitive damages for the intentional trespass and the emotional stress he caused. Ken lost the land he tried to steal, had to pay damages, and learned the hard way that property law protects owners who are diligent. The lesson: never ignore boundary encroachment. Adverse possession laws are serious and strict, often requiring just 7 to 20 years of unchallenged use to lose land. If you discover a neighbor has built on your property, file a written objection or a lawsuit immediately to legally interrupt the continuous and hostile possession period. Always commission a professional land survey before buying or building to establish clear boundaries and use the law to protect every inch of your investment.